Hey guys, welcome back to the Smith Our YouTube channel. Today we are cutting it very close. We're back working on the all-motor drag car, and I got a race in 3 days. So yeah, we just got to get right into it. What we're going to be doing today is our fuel system. Now, normally, obviously your gas tank's usually in the back, but in drag racing applications, especially on front wheel drive, if you put your fuel cell in the front, you get to kind of add weight where you need it. You take it away from the back where you don't need it, and you can put more traction onto the front wheels. According to the NHRA rule book, you cannot have a fuel cell on the same side as your flywheel, but in our case we're going to just go ahead and do it over here on this side. My idea was originally to try to use some fuel cells that I had laying around that I got from other racers, but I couldn't get anything to work. So today, my buddy Austin, I'm sure you're watching, thanks again. He went and got all the metal pre-cut for me, saved me some time. I went up there, grabbed it from him, and I also grabbed a windshield. So we also still got to do the windshield, but that's its own thing. So the idea is to have the fuel cell right here. I don't know how far up I'm gonna bring it, how far down it's gonna come. It does need a crash structure, but for right now, we're not worried about the crash structure. We're just worried about making it. So first, I gotta make some room. And the best way to do this, I believe, is to cut out all of this area. I am probably just gonna make a nice cut around here and back, so all this will be open. After that, then we gotta go ahead and we gotta mount the fuel pump. We got a gigantic fuel pump. Again, thanks to Paul for this one. He's letting me borrow this to see how it works, how it fits, if I'm gonna buy one. So this is a giant pump. We gotta have a 10 micron filter from the tank to this, then out we have our 100 micron, and then just goes up to the rail. The idea why you want a fuel pump this big is because you want to run a special type of fuel, and in our application for all motor we want to run M1, so that is the goal. So after a lot of cutting, a lot of marking, we got the body where we need to have it, and I have all of the pieces over here. So this will be cut into 4 different pieces. This is the bottom, this is the top of the fuel cell, this is the fender side. So I'm gonna cut it out in one piece and then I'll bend it. And then the other side I left in the house. So you can do all this in inches, but it's a lot easier in millimeters. It's, you know, it's way easier to not get confused. So I did everything in millimeters over here, and then I took it into Fusion 360, and that was a learning curve, but I think I got it figured out. And then after that, then I came out here and was messing with this plasma table for a good while, and I have this water table, and it's above where it usually is. It was really hard to adjust, so usually they tell you to adjust it like down to this little end point, but that didn't work out for me. What I just wound up doing was taking this little shim they give you, and then I just ensured that it was the same distance. I just set it right here, adjusted the carriage. You do it with all of these little screws, and then I just adjusted the carriage, made it the same thickness with that shim there as on the end. There is a torch gap of 0.06. So I just took normal feeler gauges, found 2 that would tie together to 0.06, put them together, and then I just adjusted it back there. So I got that all set up, and then I was fighting with this software. Like I said, everything's kind of a steep learning curve. You just, especially when you're doing stuff on your own. I finally got it. Now we can do a dry run right here, and I can just hit start right here, and then you'll see it just go along. This is where this first piece is going to be. You make sure that the torch isn't going to get hit by anything. Have clearance for everything. Make sure you just take the ground and put it right to your material. It's basically like welding. Have the CNC in there. I soldered it up. Hopefully it just works. So this will be the first ever cut, and I'm just gonna hope for the best. It's pretty much all we can do at this point. I don't think that could have gone any better. I am very happy. Let's see if it comes out, but that looks, that was a lot of hard work. That was a lot of hard work figuring all this out, making all the money to be able to buy something like this. It's that's a very good feeling. See if, oh, it's perfectly free. Dude. It's a little warm. Oh my goodness. A little bit of slag. I am not worried about it in the slightest bit. That is, it's just a piece of flat, you know, aluminum, but yeah, that's a good feeling. So I'm just gonna start plugging away, putting all the rest of this stuff in, and then we'll clean it up, bend it up, and hopefully today we'll have a fuel cell, guys. Making a lot more progress. I just made a mount plate, so I bent it up and I got all the bolt holes right. Made that with the plasma over there, and I just added like these little notches. I think it looks a lot nicer. And then I got some of these just 1/8 inch tabs. So right over here on the where the factory bumper used to be, there's already a hole. So I can just throw them in there with a nut and bolt. This will be the idea of it. Is a real short line out to a 10 micron filter, then a 100 micron filter up to the rail, and then that'll be coming back. We're still got to finish, got a couple more things to do this, but obviously you got to get this in place. I think the best route for this is to just get the MIG welder and just throw some 1/4 inch rod like this, and then cut it into place and just booger weld it up. It doesn't need to be fancy or anything, it just needs to hold that pump. So as long as it holds it in place, we should be fine. The fuel cell is basically done. The whole fuel system is basically done. But what I did get was a check valve right here. This is like a rollover and it'll vent. I'm going to weld an AN fitting. I'm waiting on that tomorrow. And then I'll have a 90. So then this will be right here. So it'll be up pretty high. And then I'll have a 90 off of this. Think of your OEM fuel lines underneath the car where you got all the clips that come all the way up because your gas tank used to be here. Well, what I'm going to be doing is have that vent go down all the way back here into the middle of the car. So if anything leaks or spills on hard acceleration, it'll go out the middle of the car and it won't affect me. It won't affect anyone else, and we'll be fine. They'll be able to just sweep that up real easy. So those parts are coming tomorrow. So yeah, that'll be nice and easy. We got a ton of stuff done this weekend. I'm not ending this video off yet because obviously we gotta get that situated. One thing I wanted to show you guys is the harnesses. So I don't have a harness install video. I was just figuring it out myself. So I got a 5-point harness here. This is my Jag seat, so it's an aluminum seat. I have the roll cage. What I did earlier was, first, you have to have a brace. If you have an aluminum seat, you have to have a brace to the roll cage or a harness bar, whatever is in your car. So I just whipped up something. I made this on the CNC. That came out really nice. And then I just have a panhead bolt through the seat, welded up to a split collar up here. So it's nice and easy. It's solid. I wanted a good harness. You don't want to have to like unclip a bunch of these. This is just a twist lock. I just twist it and all these pop out. The submarine belt stays on. So the submarine belt, they want it bolted behind, like basically behind your spine. So it comes around, down, and I have it bolted to the back of the seat brace right there. So that's that. There's an adjustment you can do down here, nice and easy. The 2 lap belts, what we did, we had to shorten them up, but I put them on the OEM seat belt bolt, so they still move as they should. The other one's right there, works really well. Up here on the shoulder side, obviously we have the nice divider in the seat already. Then the split collar does the dividing there, so that just goes back there, nice and easy. So this was actually a really easy install. I was reading and getting wigged out because obviously people were like drilling holes into their cars, using eyelets, using gigantic washers. Like, that's not something that I wanted to do. It didn't seem logical to me. It's into the rocker, into the side tunnel there, into the brace itself, and into the harness bar. So I should be safe and sound. Yeah, it fit pretty well, pretty snug in there. So it's all happy, all good things. And then in here, you can kind of see my point of view. I have plenty of clearance. So we're getting closer and closer, guys. What we're gonna be doing shortly here in this video is I'll have the parts, we'll weld that stuff up, and we will get this entire fuel system ran. We missed Street Wars today. There was just nothing I can do. This car's just way too far behind. We should hopefully have every system besides electrical done here by the end of this video, and then the next video will be firing everything up. So let's get back into it. I'll see you guys when all this stuff arrives. I was waiting to end this video off by showing you guys how I was running the vent line. So just like OEM, it would come right out of here of the frame rail, and I have it in all the OEM spots back here, coming all the way back, tied up here, and then I just drilled a hole through some metal, and it's just sitting there. So that's the breather, that's the vent for the gas tank, fuel cell. I think it'll be perfectly fine, and I'll show you guys in a second how everything looks. Here's a good look of it underneath of the car. So my tire sits about right here, so we should have a full turn radius. I'm pretty confident in that. And then here underneath the car, here's where that bracket sits that I made. Bolts right where the Mark II OEM rad support would be, cross member, that kind of deal. And we just got the nice bracket coming across. And everything up here, I paint marked everything that needed to be tight. So we have our 6AN return goes there, 6AN return into the tank, and then I do have a tube that goes down to about right here in the tank, welded off of that, so that way there's no splashing. It's going to go right in. It'll keep it from getting aerated. I think that's the best way to do that. Back here you can see we have the check valve right here, so this is going to be our vent, coiled line, comes back around, bolted right here, and then goes down into the frame rail. So it's all nice. It's as OEM as I can get it. I'm terrified of having anything venting in here, and if you read the NHRA rule book, it does tell you that if you have a cap and it's vented, it needs to be vented outside of the body anyway. So whatever you do with these fuel cells, make sure you vent them. Scary stuff can happen, but this is how everything looks. I'm excited for it. Still got a ton more to do. I got to finish up all this wiring, get the rad mounted in, test everything, make sure everything works, and then we'll be well on our way to get back racing. So if you guys like what you saw today, give me a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any sort of questions
hopefully I'll be able to answer them in the comments, or even in the future I'll be able to say, hey, this worked, this didn't work. But I'm pretty confident in everything. So thanks for watching, guys, and see you guys in the next one.